Hey everyone, welcome back. This week I'll be experimenting more with design and color. And to stick with that theme, I went over to Rockler this week and picked up this Osage Orange. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this piece. And I'm glad you decided to come along with me. For this piece, I opted to go with 15 segments per ring. I really like the way it looks with the large and small pieces as you'll see as this piece goes along. Now for the sanding. All 300 pieces will get touched to ensure that the fit is best as the rings are glued up. The next thing I wanted to add is like a feature ring. It's not going to be heavily detailed. This is just plain red oak. I plan on dyeing this black to offset against the orange of the Osage Orange. Also, you'll notice that I'm letting the blade stop in between each cut because that piece of oak is trapped between a stop block. So do be careful if you're going to use this technique. So after sanding comes this glue up part, and this might be one of the most tedious parts next to sanding, I suppose. All 300 pieces again have to be individually glued and placed inside of the rings, tightened down and shifted. Here I think I do 5 rings, and it took me about 25 minutes to do these 5 rings. So it's probably gonna take me another hour and a half to do the rest. Here's a question for you guys. Typically I show you, by 5 or 10 minutes worth of the build process before I get to the actual turning. Do you guys like to see that, or do you want me to cut that out and get straight to spinning? Leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Keep the build or ditch the build? It was right here where I realized that some of the glue had dripped down onto the bar for this bar clamp. So I asked my son to grab our extra one off the wall so I could finish this glue up. So typically I put this paper down, so I'm not sure how it got on the bar. But either way, take care of your bar clamps and clean them up. Here's the final shape of it, or what I think it'll be anyways. I'm trying to fumble through describing the pieces and how I'm going to turn it here. There's multiple sections, the top, the middle, and a few different sections that make up the middle and the base. Anyways, that's the plan. Turn it in chunks, then glue it all back together and turn the outside all in one big piece. When I'm doing these oddly shaped vases or vessels, whatever you want to call them, I tend to turn them in chunks. And on the inside, I just turn it enough to get it round and smooth and clean in there, because I like to be able to define the shape and leave myself plenty of wood so I don't run into any thin spots. And you can see me here struggling a little bit with there is a lip inside of this piece. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to use Axe abrasive sanding paste and wax to finish off this piece. I want to thank Tom over at Axe for sending me out this kit. If you guys want to use it, or order some for yourself, I should say, I have a discount code, and I'll put that in the description down below with a link to his shop. Thanks. I forgot to clean this. Whoops. I'm placing the glue here such that I minimize the amount of squeeze out that ends up inside the bowl. And you can see I touch it here to see where I can line it up on the other rings and then put glue on both sides. Here I'm just truing up the base. And it's more of that chunky assembly. Sand some, finish some, wax some, glue some, and it's going to be this way until you see when I put the final stuff together tomorrow afternoon and I turn the whole outside at once. I gotta swap out the jaws on this. I'm not sponsored by Easy Wood tools, but this Easy Chuck is the best. I love that I don't have to do anything other than pop these jaws off and on for different sizes. And it doesn't matter which order they go in, you know, like the Nova Chucks. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. You just slide them on, it does not matter. And literally that quick, I've changed from 3-inch jaws to 2-inch jaws. This piece really presented some unique challenges this week. I've been getting by without having a steady rest. You'll hear me lament about this later in the video as I'm talking out loud. But that ring of oak at the end really changed the balance of the piece. It was very heavy down there. And I think if I would have had a steady rest, this would not have been an issue because I could have propped it up, because I really had a hard time getting around that oak, especially with the way I'm supporting it out at the end with the tailstock and just the flat piece of plywood pressing up against the end of the board. This is exactly what I was talking about. You can see I have to have the tool rest angled at a weird angle to get around the plywood support. And I can't really get close enough with the tool. And so I try to move it around back and forth, try to get different angles, and it's too far here. So yeah, I definitely gonna have to either buy a steady rest or make one. There's no way around it if I want to continue pressing my designs in different woods and such. I end up getting a catch right here, and that's what I'm kind of pointing at here with my finger. And I really believe that was because I didn't have a steady rest on there. And that catch caused this to get out of alignment, so I'm having to pound on it to get it back straight. And, you know, it just was it was a struggle. But I'm really happy with the way the piece is turning out at this point. So we move along. And here I'm just checking to see if I can actually get that gouge out. It's pretty deep. Hey, thanks for sticking around this long into the video. I appreciate it. And if you've gone this far, I would even appreciate it even more if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It is not required, but I would appreciate it. Thanks. And here I pick up the bull gouge. It's the 1/2-inch one from Carter & Son. I'm still learning how to use this tool. I really enjoy it, but I really have to figure out how to hold it properly. I know how to hold it properly, but how to hold it better, how to get the angles right, and that's just going to come with more practice. So I bring it out for a little bit on each of these bowls as I get more comfortable with it. Probably should have done a light sanding first, but the way this bowl's going, it wouldn't have made a difference. Glue up's not ideal. Don't have a steady rest. Yeah. Okay, I really need to invest in accessories for my lathe. Got a gap here. I'm sure if I would have had a press, that might have been fixed. That's just me being lazy and wanting to turn and not get the appropriate stuff. I'm just applying India ink. I went up to Michael's and picked it up. Well, there you have it, folks. Osage Orange, Walnut, Red Oak, and I used Black India ink to make it that black. Yeah. I had some problems with this one throughout the turn. Got some catches. It didn't have a steady rest, so it's kind of off center at the tip there. You can see it's narrow here and wide there. I love the look of the wood. I just need to get with it and make myself a steady rest to avoid some of these problems that I was having. That's just me being lazy. Is it really lazy, or is it me just wanting to turn really bad? Who knows? A couple things. So at the beginning of the video, you saw me put up a sticker from Daniel over at Tournade Dubois. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, please do. He does some really great turnings. And I want to thank Tom over at X for providing the finish for today's piece, the carnauba wax and the paste to get it nice and smooth. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.